All right, I think we're good to go. We are. Okay. Well, thanks everybody for coming today to the, I guess, annual kickoff meeting of the eResources interest group. Really not a ton to go over today. We just wanted to welcome everybody and then share the results of the survey, announce the person who won the gift card, and then just have time for an open discussion if anyone has questions or anything like that. So yeah, that's our little agenda. So welcome. Leanne and I are co-chairs again. If you have any questions or concerns or topics or anything like that, message us and we'll do our best to respond to those. We have planned to run this year very similarly to last year, where we'll have just like a pre-planned topic every month during the meeting. We'll, spend, the presentation will be half an hour to 45 minutes, and then there'll be time for Q&A. And if there's extra time, then people can ask whatever questions they want. There's a lot of really smart and intelligent librarians here. And so if you have questions, this is a great place to bring them. From the survey, everybody is interested in all the topics. So we'll probably do a rerun through most of those again. There were a couple of people who suggested topics, and those same people were often willing to present. So we'll probably reach out to those people and have them present on those topics since they're interested in presenting and willing to present, which is very much appreciated when we don't have to track down presenters and strong arm people that we know to do it. So thank you, volunteers. Also, I think we're going to just keep meeting at this time on the, I'm going to get this wrong, the third, is that right, Leanne? The third,
Tuesday.
The third Tuesday of the month from 3 to 4. That worked for everyone but one person who responded. So we're just going to keep that time. We will record the presentation or the meetings so that they can be viewed later on the MIALA website. I think they get put underneath our interest group. Is that correct, Leanne? Yeah. And then just looking at my notes here to see if there's anything else from the survey. That was about it from the survey. The winner of the gift card from the survey was Courtney Cooney. So congratulations, Courtney. I don't think she's here. Nope, she's not here. But we'll reach out to her via email or whatever and let her know that she won. Oh, look at that. It's like she was waiting for us to call her.
It was magic.
It is.
You might have to repeat that. I don't know if she
Yeah. Courtney, it was excellent timing. We just announced that you had won the gift card. So way to go and excellent timing.
Nice. Awesome.
I thought maybe you were like ready for a speech or something.
No, appreciate it though.
Oh, yeah. We'll reach out to you and figure out how to get that to you.
Yeah.
Really, that was the bulk of the survey stuff. So today was just a meeting where people could ask questions, talk about what's going on at their library. How are you guys? How's everybody doing? I know at Grand Valley, we have a lot of staff working remotely, which has introduced some challenges and also there's been some benefits to that. So I guess open discussion time.
Patrick, I was curious about if anybody has strong feelings about the order that we go in as far as the topics. If anybody wants to talk about any one of them more earlier in the year than something else. It's I don't know if you want to go through the topics real quick.
Yeah, so I'll go in order of most votes. So let's see, the three that had the most votes were updates from libraries that were migrating to new systems, task management in ERM, staffing and workflow in ERM. The next group with the most votes was off-campus access to eResources, negotiating licenses, and then diversity, equity, and accessibility issues in electronic resources management. And then the two topics that were suggested was how has COVID impacted ERM, and then what are people doing in ERM to manage budget and staffing reductions? How are they handling those? And I thought those were both very good topics as well that I hadn't thought of. So I'm glad that people brought those up. So I don't know if there was an order to those. That wasn't part of the survey, so I'm not sure. But does anyone have a preference or?
This is Fran. I'd be interested in the migration to new systems discussion, maybe this quarter, you know.
Okay.
I'll second that. I'm very interested in moving to a new system myself, so.
Yeah, at MSU, we're moving to a new system at some point in the future also, so.
What are you looking at?
We've already decided on EBSCO and Folio.
Oh, okay.
It's the matter of the timing. That's everything.
Yes. We are still using.
I just feel bad because.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, I just feel bad because I talked to some Beth Johns and some other folks from like Sag Valley yesterday. And I'm like, there was so much we wanted to get done with Alma. And then our acquisitions assistant also retired. We're hoping to get a systems librarian, but in the meantime, it's like, yeah, we're pretty much holding pattern thanks to COVID. So I felt bad. I'm like, yeah, we wanted to do this. Yep, we wanted to do that. We might be done with data cleanup if we're lucky.
Tom, what is your timeline that you're looking at? What's the holdup? Or
Well, we don't have a very firm timeline at this moment. Probably it will be sometime, I guess, in the next 12 months, but we don't know when things will get started. We've got a lot of people working from home and a lot of other things going on.
Did you already do an RFP or?
Oh yeah, that's all done.
So it's been awarded.
Yeah, it's been awarded. It's a matter of what the timing will be to actually implement it.
Okay.
It's very exciting from Grand Valley. We're happy to have Michigan State moving to Folio, to have someone else to talk to.
Well, we'll have someone to talk to.
Commiserate,
also.
whatever.
Yeah, I hope it's not that. I hope it's talked to.
There's always commiserating. I mean, come on.
Oh yes, having been through numerous new online systems, yes.
Well, I think we can probably have migrations to new systems earlier. That's usually people are eager to talk about that anyway when they're doing that. So we can probably find speakers for that. Are there any other topics that people would like to have earlier in the year? Any preferences? If not, then Leanne and I will just start looking for speakers and then schedule them as people are available.
Yeah.
All right. Well, then that will be the plan.
Good.
Sorry, I'm taking notes at the same time and I can't talk and take notes at the same time.
Okay. I'll ask. Does anybody have anything they're working on right now that they have questions about or just want to share?
I have many questions about the Central Discovery Index deployment right now in Alma, but I don't think anyone can answer them, although I do feel better that the experts on the listserv that's international are equally baffled. So I've been taking back to my coworkers. I'm like, look, smart people at SUNY and other places also are not understanding why it's doing this. So that's any relief.
What's it doing?
Okay, so they Ex Libris took the Summon 360 index and the Primo metadata index and merged them and then put them into Alma, because originally they were in like their own little separate interface you had to tweak. And the effect of that now is we have things like ebook records where the metadata index has the chapter level information, but we have title level records that are in what we call the holdings index in Alma. And it's displaying things like duplicate ebook versions because it brings up the metadata record that has like both versions, the print and the e on it, but then it also brings up this title level record for the other ebook that's coming from the local catalog, because the local records don't merge with these metadata records. I'm having fun enough trying to get stuff to dedupe on identifiers. The other issue that's going on is it's the way the links are constructed, it's sometimes blocking how...
If you have a full text activated, if you have bib records in Alma, you don't need to have the central discovery index searchable for CDI, because that's what creates the duplicate.
I thought you did if you want the chapter level stuff from CDI to be searchable. That's why we kept it on. Because we have chapter titles and stuff. That's what's on the docs.
That could be true.
Because you see two title level records. Yeah, I know, because I was like, how do we get rid of this? And it's like, well, if you get rid of this, we can't search chapter titles. And sometimes we like to do that. So, but it looks very funky. I just had to make a video on YouTube explaining why there's like 3 results for our book Haste to Rise. And one is a very bad bib record, and then one's the nice one that I made in OCLC. And then there's the CDI one that lists both holdings and is kind of a mush between them. But it's also causing issues where it blocks like the link resolver options because it's got an embedded link. It's real fun. It's, yeah. Job security. I'm glad I'm tenured.
Amy, you guys have Alma as well?
Yeah.
How long have you been with Alma? I'm sorry, I didn't hear that.
3 years.
Oh, 3 years?
Yeah.
Just out of curiosity, what systems are most folks on? So we know we got 2 Alma folks.
Western's on Alma and Primo as well.
Okay.
We're currently on Summon.
We're on Sierra, but planning to move probably next year.
Yeah, Katerine's on Summon as well.
We're on Sierra at LCC.
St. Clair County is on Summon also.
Huh.
That's a pretty good mix. So Grand Valley's on Sierra with Summon, and then we're moving to EDS and Folio.
Yeah, we are working on an RFP right now to send out for switching.
The RFP process is very interesting. When we did ours, we had responses from 3 vendors, and about a week after we got the submissions from the 3 vendors, one of the submitters was purchased by the other. So we were like, so is any of this actually still going to happen, or? Sure it is. No, it's not. So we did not select the one that was purchased, obviously, but
Yeah, after we put out the RFP, we got 3 responses. The first people to come and present, it was fine. The second one, we were beginning to worry about COVID, and we hadn't quite closed down yet. So, but it was all done by Zoom, and the third one was all Zoom. So,
COVID has definitely introduced a lot of problems for anything that is out of the ordinary. Like
even for the ordinary.
Well, yeah, but
Yeah.
EBSCO trying to figure out how to start an implementation, not being able to visit you at a library was interesting.
Well, we'll be interested to see how ours works.
A lot of Zoom meetings.
I'm glad I won't be involved in many or any of those.
Good. It's a good team though. They do a good job. So
that's good to hear.
Are most people? Do most people have staff working from home right now, or do a lot of you guys have everyone in the office?
We have most people working from home. And we're strongly encouraged to work from home. That's where I am.
Okay.
We have a few interlibrary loan service and some other people and some facilities people working in the building. But we're only open to the public from like 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Monday through Friday.
Wow.
Has that been the entire time, or did you, when the students
No.
were there, you opened up and then you crashed?
We opened up, then we restricted it. It's been a roller coaster ride.
Yeah, I can imagine.
We've been getting, we were going to have in-person reference for a while. Then we weren't, then we were, and now we're not.
We're open, I'd say 7:30 to 10 p.m. and we have our extended hours open 24/7. And most people are working 3 days in the building, 2 days at home. We have interlibrary loan going, online instruction. Yeah, but we've been open since we could open, was it June maybe? Whenever we could open back up, we opened. Maybe it was August. I don't remember.
All the days run together now.
All the days blend into each other now.
All the months run together.
But it's, it's very ghost town-like in here because the kids don't like to wear their mask while they're in here. During the day when I'm here, I might see 6 or 8 students.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, wow.
On the 3rd floor anyway, that's where I'm at, but yeah.
Fill out a health form every day before we come into the building for anything.
Yep, us too.
We're actually going to work.
We have to do ours off-site. I'm just kind of curious if anyone, and now I lost it. Shoot.
Do what off-site?
We have to fill out our COVID-19 form, even though we're off-site, because I argued about that. I'm like, my house is already compromised with whatever germs I've got. And they're like, well, it's an OSHA thing. OSHA requires you to do that because if you were working off-site at home and you fell off your chair and broke your neck, that could be considered a workman's comp injury.
Oh my goodness.
And I'm like, yeah, and I'm like, okay, I'm not going to have a fight about this.
Our IT made
it.
An app, so we just submit it on our apps.
Yeah,
you can submit it on your phone, or you can go to the website and submit it.
Yeah, that's what we do too.
We do too. We have an
Are
app.
any of the rest of you having classes in your buildings though? Because that's the main reason we're open is we have 3 or 4 rooms, especially up on the 4th floor. It's just mostly administrative.
We're not using our classrooms.
We're not either.
So Grand Valley.
Yeah, it's actual teaching space for spreading out, I guess.
We've never had classes in our building, but we do
they
now.
actually might be using one classroom. Sorry.
They moved a class into our multipurpose room. We've never had scheduled classes in the library before, but they needed extra room because they made all the classes smaller. So
yeah, they took the ballroom of our student union too, I think. I don't know. We have a lot of labs. I'm not quite sure how they're doing that aside from the plexiglass barriers and everything they got rolling around.
Yeah, all of our library instruction is pretty much has to be online. It can be asynchronous or synchronous, but nobody's coming in the building for it. None of the rooms are open or available.
One thing that I thought was interesting was back when we shut stuff down in March and when we started this new semester, I thought for sure the number of tickets we would get for resources not working or just people not knowing what they were doing would shoot way up. and we didn't see any increase. It was just the same, faculty. They always have problems every year submitting the same tickets that they submit every year, which I thought must be doing a pretty good job then, because the eResources are getting used a lot more than normal. So
Yeah.
Yeah, we're having more problems trying to get a hold of electronic versions, especially textbooks. Run a reserve, and $700 or $800 for 3 users, if it's available at all. So it's affected a lot of areas for electronic resources. We just can't get some of them. But we've digitized some of them and have very limited access to them.
Fran, are you guys back in the building yet?
No, we're all working remotely. So everyone, there's only like 2 people who are regularly going into work to do whatever they need to do that they can't do at home. And the rest of us are all still remotely and expect to be through the end of the year. So it's been quite an adjustment. My job, luckily, I'm able to do mostly without pause or anything. Some of the people I'm working with are having more issues with it. So like the course reserves, I've been pulled into a lot of discussions on that because of the ebook component, and everyone thinking that suddenly they should be available for sale and they are not, and we can't get them. And our students are very upset by that because they would come to the library and use the reserves, and we don't have curbside service yet. So all those offerings are still being looked at in the future.
And the students see some of them available for Kindle or other things, and they say, well, why can't you use that? And it doesn't work that way.
Right, exactly. We have the same issue.
And we were having issues with one that, the usual, they don't tell you they're using as a textbook until you get a bunch of turnaways because it's a 3 user. And we're like, we don't have the money right now to upgrade to unlimited. So you have to tell your students when they get this message, like they need to try again in like 15 minutes, which sounds weird. But yeah, we had no idea you were to just decide this was your textbook.
Well, that's not a new problem.
Well, the other issue we had with the CDI thing, Ex Libris decided to change the linking structure on something that was in our freshman introduction to the library module that went into Canvas. And it's nobody's fault. They just changed it without telling us. And then someone on the listserv in Australia who's nice spotted it and was like, yeah, now it's sending you to some sort of Gale apps page and not sending you to Gale's parser parameter site. And it's not proxying because it is an embedded link, which most of the time is for open access content. So we don't proxy those. So yeah, it's doing some very weird thing. And I'm like, yeah, I'm sorry. I'm glad one of us found it and it's broken. And I know it's a quiz in the Canvas module. No, I don't know what to do about that. You guys work that out amongst yourselves.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I get more emails from faculty with problems accessing resources now. And sometimes I can help them and sometimes, nope, can't do anything. That's just the way it is, unfortunately.
It's
Streaming
behaving as designed.
I'm sorry, Deja, I didn't hear you. What'd you say?
Oh, it's our ongoing joke. It's behaving as designed. And then one of my other coworkers is like, so who do I complain about the design to? And I'm like, anytime you see an Ex Libris rep running around at a conference, feel free to fill their ear with things you don't like.
We've been having the why isn't this available conversation a lot around streaming videos. Like, we see this documentary on Netflix. Why can't you buy that for us or get that for us? Or can you just buy us an institutional Netflix subscription? No, no, we can't.
No. Do you folks get questions from alumni wanting to access our eResources and wondering why they can't?
All the time.
how much it's going to cost them to do that if we could?
All the time. That is the number one complaint probably about the library from alumni, is that they paid all that money and the library just forgets about them.
Yep. Not glad for everybody else, but not surprised that it's a common issue.
Yeah, we tell them they can use as many as they want. They just have to come to the library.
Which right now is, oh, you can come in between 10 a.m. and 2 p.m.
They're actually not allowed to come into our library right now. So,
okay.
well, if no one has any other topics or questions, I hate to have a meeting just to have a meeting. So we can always end early and people can have 30 minutes back of their day. Is there anything else people would like to talk about, or are we all set?
Sounds good to me. Nice to see everybody.
Yeah.
I should probably introduce myself.
Sure.
Hi. So I'm George Allen. I'm at Mossy Library at Hillsdale College with Leanne. I just started back in November. So I had a little while to learn the job before things changed a bit. So I work in public services circulation, but I figured I ought to tune in and see what y'all are doing. Try to start participating in the professional association since I got my library degree back in 2011, but it's the first library job I've had. So I'm just trying to catch up.
Yeah. For those of you who may not know me, I'm the engineering librarian at MSU. And I don't pop in all that often.
Well, we're glad you're here.
Yes, it's always nice to have people on these. So this is a great resource if you have any questions about eResources particularly, but anything for librarianship. There's always someone on here who knows something. So
Yeah, and there's usually time at the end of our discussion to just throw out any topic and talk about it. So feel free to bring any concerns or questions at any time.
all right, so Leanne and I will work, I don't know, next week sometime probably, to come up with a schedule and get some speakers, and we'll get everybody out the link for the next meeting and the topic schedule and things like that. We might send out the topic schedule before we have speakers for them. So then if you see one that doesn't have a speaker and you think, oh, I know a lot about that, we'd love for you to volunteer.
Yeah.
But expect to hear from us probably next week or the week after with more details. And then again, if anybody does have any questions and can't wait until the next meeting and just want to get some advice on something, don't forget you can use the MILA website. There's like a way to email the group on there, I think, or send it to the board or something like that, the message board or something. And everyone will get notified and they'll respond with little bits of wisdom. So
yeah, kind of like a listserv.
Yeah.
Close enough.
Yeah.
Safety net.
A smaller listserv.
Yeah. There's lots of people on it, just not many that respond.
Right.
Well, it beats me just pestering poor Michelle at SUNY because I'm like, you actually understand what I'm saying. Nobody else I work with does right now. It's very lonely.
All right. Well, thank you everybody for coming, and we'll see you in a month.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Bye all.
Bye.
Bye.
See you, yes.